up, you trades? Wanted to do a technical analysis video update of the S&P 500, the Nasdaq, Apple, Tesla, Google, and Draftkings. Okay, so let's get right into it. We had said that the S&P 500 formed a bull flag, and it also formed a very valid pitchfork from connecting this low in June with this high in September and this low in September. We've seen a very nice reaction on the median of this pitchfork. We've seen that it will act as a magnet. It will also act as resistance in the future. Okay, we see that as soon as price got away from the lower bound, it went right back to the lower bound, consolidated into a bull flag, and then broke out of that bull flag. Okay, so the invalidation level is still the same. We expected a 359 holds as the low. Then the S&P 500 will continue on this breakout out of this bull flag and reach 3,948, potentially by the end of the year, but conservatively by mid-January. So all these price targets, or all these time targets that I'm going to go through in this video, are for by the end of this year aggressively. Mid-January, I think conservatively, is the just right time target for these. But anyway, we're expecting that in the next, 4 to 5 weeks, the S&P 500 will be around 3,948, so long as we do not go below 3,590. Okay. What we're more importantly expecting is that SPY will reach the median of this pitchfork, and that will be around the time that it reaches 3,948. Now, what we have to remember is that Google has already done what we are projecting all of these stocks are about to do. Okay, so this is the exact same low in June with the exact same high in September and the exact same low in September. So if you'll remember, way back in October, I went through all the big tech stocks that completed an ABC correction from the September high. I said they had declining volume and they formed a valid pitchfork from the June low to the September high and the September low, that this was a really valid pitchfork, and the declining volume confirmed bullish consolidation. If this September low held, we were going to reach the median of this pitchfork, reach this equal legs target, and break to a new all-time high. Okay, so Google has already done that. I made a very similar projection with Tesla and said that if we connected, this low with this high and this low, that we were going to go to the lower bound of this pitchfork and then the median of this pitchfork, and the declining volume confirmed bullish consolidation. Okay, so if we look at Google, we can see that exactly what I'm going to project for, the Nasdaq, the S&P 500, and Apple has already happened on Google. Okay, so Google has already reached the median of this pitchfork. It's flagging right now. We can see this little bull flag action. And so we take the length of this move and we find our pennant. This is our consolidation on the median of this pitchfork. Okay, so remember, the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 have not yet reached the median of this pitchfork. This is the exact same pitchfork, found by connecting the June low with the September high and the September low. The Nasdaq and the S&P 500 have yet to reach it. Okay, and we see when Google got to this pitchfork median, it consolidated into a bull flag. And then if you take, the length of bull flag pole 1 and place it at the low of the consolidation, it will take Google potentially to around 2011 and likely the upper bound of this pitchfork. Okay, so if Google is going to the upper bound of this pitchfork, and SPY and QQQ have not yet reached the median, then we've identified Google as a leader in this market. And we can expect that Google is going to, forge the path for the rest of FANG and the rest of big tech. Okay, the other stock that I covered is also doing that very well. Okay, this is Tesla. So we went back and we said that Tesla had declining volume confirming bullish consolidation, a very valid pitchfork, and that it was heading to the lower bound and then the median of this pitchfork. Okay, so if we take the low in the low in March, and connect it with the September high and the September low, we can see that Tesla has reached the median of this pitchfork, and now it looks like it is heading for the upper bound of this pitchfork. Okay, so that could take Tesla to, I think as high as 700, 698. And then, really the upper bound of this pitchfork is where Tesla would cool off. I don't think, you should chase Tesla here. My price target for Tesla was 607. We've reached 607. I wouldn't, I would have taken profits by now. I definitely wouldn't have opened, any new positions. The point is, Tesla's already reached the median of this pitchfork. Okay, this is the pitchfork found by connecting the low in March with the high in September and the low in September. We see that Tesla has already reached the median and now it's going to the upper bound. That's really important because when we talk about Apple, this is the exact same pitchfork. Okay, so if we take the low in March with the high in September and the low in September, you can see these really nice reactions on the median of this pitchfork where the daily high of these two candles was attracted to the median. It acted as resistance, and then we can see the lower bound acted as support. And then as soon as the stock got away from the lower bound, it started heading right back to it. So what we're expecting is that Apple is about to do the exact same thing that Tesla has already done. It's going to go to this median of this pitchfork, and we can see right now that if Apple went to the median of this pitchfork very quickly, it would be well above 150, right? More than likely, Apple's going to continue to, hopefully pick up speed, break out of this, really tight contraction and start expanding and have a pickup in implied volatility and go reach the lower bound of this pitchfork and then reach the median of this pitchfork. So when I say have a pickup in implied volatility, I'm saying that we're going to expect Apple to go from, moving very little in the day to moving a lot in the day. And I'm projecting that that movement is going to be to the upside. Okay, so Apple, as long as this low right here of 112 holds, we're expecting Apple to reach the lower bound of this pitchfork and eventually the median of this pitchfork. The equal legs target is 156. So remember, the time target for this video is that mid-January, I believe Apple will reach 156. Aggressively, it could happen by the end of the year. Okay, so we saw how fast Tesla went on this run, out of this consolidation. It's the exact same thing, that we're seeing with Apple, right? Everyone's bored, everyone's like, when's Apple going to join the party? That's exactly what people were asking. And then boom, Tesla gaps up and it reaches the median of this pitchfork in a matter of days. Okay, so when everyone's falling asleep, that's when you need to drink some coffee, because when people are falling asleep in the market, that's when it gets going. Okay, the best time to enter a stock is when people are bored, right? When they're like, oh, this thing doesn't even move. Right? That's because the implied volatility is getting extremely low, and implied volatility is cyclical, just like every other aspect of analysis in the market is cyclical. And so implied volatility will go from really, really low movement intraday to extreme lows like that, and then it will go to extreme highs where the stock is moving a lot during the day. Okay, so as an options trader, what you realize is you want to be buying options when implied volatility is very low, because options will become a lot more expensive when implied volatility is high, right? So the best time to enter a stock is when it's really boring. It's not moving much. It's mostly just sideways. And that boredom, the options market is very aware of that. And when it reaches an extreme low, all of a sudden the implied volatility will pick up, and we'll see, what happened with Tesla, where we go in a really, really tight range and then boom, we break out really quickly. I think that's about to happen with Apple. I think a lot of retail is falling asleep on Apple, but they don't realize Google and Tesla are already above this high. Google and Tesla are already at the median of this pitchfork. Okay, so Apple, if this low holds right here of 112, we're expecting the lower bound of this pitchfork and then the median of this pitchfork to be reached. And that'll take Apple to 156 by conservatively, maybe not conservatively, but just right mid-January, aggressively in the end of the year. Okay, so let's look at the Nasdaq real quick. QQQ. We can see that this is the exact same pitchfork that Google formed with this late June low, the September high, and the September low. We can see a really nice reaction on the median. I'll go zoom in on that. Really nice. I would say that's an uncanny reaction on the median, and then we have really nice reactions on the lower bound. I love to see the high of a daily candle, be rejected at the median of a pitchfork so cleanly like this. And then we see as soon as price gets away from the lower bound, it goes right back. Okay, so let's analyze, this bull flag a little bit. Very similar bull flag to SPY. So it does look like QQQ has broken out of this bull flag, and now it's on the lower bound of this pitchfork. And we're expecting the QQQ is going to make a run to the median of this pitchfork. The bull flag target right now would, have a QQQ at 319. I don't think 319 is, the top. I just, that's just to say that the bull flag has a lot more, upside. I think more than likely we're going to extend higher and go reach the median of this pitchfork. And as far as price targets go, this was the exact same length as the Google move. And if we place it, at the September low, that's going to take the Nasdaq to 326. So 326 is the, end of year, conservatively mid-January target for the Nasdaq. And we have to trade the S&P 500 together, the Apple trade together. So we're going to look at all those trades and monitor and see if we're on the right track. But it does look like Apple and Microsoft and Amazon are about to follow Google and Tesla to new all-time highs and to the median of this pitchfork. We're expecting the Nasdaq to reach 326. For now, we don't want to see 294 broken, but as far as invalidation goes, the invalidation would be 288, the low of this bull flag pennant. We're going to expect that the Nasdaq will go, from the lower bound of this pitchfork. It's going to make a run to the median of this pitchfork with Apple, and Microsoft and Facebook. And it's going to reach the median, and the equal X target is 326 by the end of the year, conservatively by mid-January. Okay, so we've gone through Tesla. It's already at the median of this pitchfork. We've gone through Google. It's already at the median of this pitchfork. We've gone through SPY. We're expecting it to reach the median of this pitchfork. And we've gone through the Nasdaq QQQ. We're expecting it to reach the median of this pitchfork. Okay, so one more stock I want to go over is Draftkings. I think that's a really interesting setup right here. I'll make sure everyone can see it, but this is a big chart. There's a lot of information to be conveyed. So I'm sorry if this isn't my most visible chart. Got a few complaints about that. But if we take the low from March and connect it with this high and this low, we had a really nice pitchfork where the lower bound acted as a magnet, and then it went from the lower bound to the median of this pitchfork. The median acted as a magnet. It also acted as resistance, and then we see, it completes an A, B, C correction. And it looks like Draftkings right now is forming a cup and handle, pattern. So, the classical traders will call this a base. So now, we see that I connected the low in March with this high and this low. So we'll move over a little bit. I think what's going to happen is that Draftkings has completed an ABC correction. And right in here, it's kind of, flagging a little bit. It's about to make a run to the lower bound of this pitchfork, consolidate, and that's going to form a cup and handle. So when it gets up here, it's going to start consolidating sideways at the lower bound, and it's going to, form a cup and handle pattern. And that's a really powerful pattern. It can, often lead to a very sustained move to the upside. So we're calling this a completed ABC correction. This is going to form a base. And then we're going to go back to the lower bound of this pitchfork, and then we're going to go to the median of this pitchfork. Okay, so right now, just by the end of the year, we're going to, want to see, ideally this will actually happen before the end of the year, but we're going to want to see Draftkings make a run to the lower bound of this pitchfork, and then once it does that, it can, potentially form a handle after a cup and handle, and then make a run to the median of this pitchfork, which could take Draftkings above 100. As far as time targets go, we'll have to see about, when Draftkings could be at the triple digits. But right now, what we want to see is that we're going to go to a new all-time high, confirm that this is the completed ABC correction. We're going to keep filling out this base, and we're going to consolidate sideways and form a cup and handle pattern, and then go on to a new all-time high, potentially, 79.80. As far as price targets go, I just want to see Draftkings reach the a new all-time high and reach the lower bound of this pitchfork by the end of the year.